Morning, YouTube fam. Welcome into the channel. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday and you're not getting drenched with rain right now, because a lot of people are. This state has called a state of emergency and it is affecting 54 plus counties. And also, this is a wide-reaching storm. Not just in this particular state, but the worst damage is expected in this state. What am I talking about? Well, hit that like button, share the video out, leave your comments, and subscribe if you have not. We would love for you to be a part of the family, and let's get into it. Florida governor has called a state of emergency as of Thursday for Tropical Cyclone 4, and these are the following counties. Here are the 54 counties that you will see posted up right here. We have Alachua, Baker, Bradford, Calhoun, Charlotte, Citrus, Clay, Collier, Columbia, Dixie, Duval, Escambia, Flagler, Franklin, Gadsden, Gilchrist, Gulf, Hamilton, Hernando, Hillsborough, Holmes, Jackson, Jefferson, Lafayette, Lake, Lee, Leon, Levy, Liberty, Madison, Manatee, Marion, Monroe, Nassau, Okaloosa, Okeechobee, Orange, Osceola, Pasco, Pinellas, Polk, Putnam, Santa Rosa, Sarasota, Seminole, St. John, Sumter, Suwannee, Taylor, Union, Volusia, Wakulla, Walton, and Washington. So potential for heavy rain, flooding under a state of emergency. Floridians, and I didn't know this myself, Floridians are permitted to receive their prescriptions early. Their refills, they can get them early no matter what their limits are when there is a state of emergency. I don't know if this applies to every state, because every state operates differently. So check your state and see if it applies to you if ever there is a state of emergency. They cannot tell you, no, you can't get refills. This storm warning is in effect for the coast of Florida from the East Cape Sable to Boca Raton. People are typically not prepared for before the storm, during the storm, or after the storm. You're going to be hit with a lot of insurance claims, people saying that they can fix this and fix that, and they don't even do construction. They don't do any of these things. So be aware of everything that's happening out there. Please prepare ahead of time. This storm is going to be wide-reaching. This was Ian. And when Ian came through, there are still claims that are still being made on Ian. And we've had so many storms since then. So you guys, note to self, because I'm not just saying this for you, I'm saying this for me. Stay as prepared as you possibly can with the finances that you have. You don't have to have everything, but it's better to have something and not have nothing. It's expected to move across Florida on Saturday, near or over west coast of Florida, up until Saturday night through Sunday night. Right now, it just crossed Cuba, and it is headed for Florida. So there is a state of emergency if you are just stepping in. Please hit that like button, you guys. It does help get this out to more people. More people need to know what it is that's happening, how they can protect their families, because some situations may end up being life or death. We see what happened in Texas when they had their state of emergency, when they had their storm, when their power was out. And speaking of power, power will go out. So I also have one more state of emergency, and then we can get into what we can do to better prepare before a storm comes. Some of the things that you might want to think about before it comes to your area. So there's another state that had a state of emergency on Wednesday, the state of Nebraska. issued an emergency. Massive amounts of damage to buildings, trees, power lines down, power outages, and they are still working on that there. So what are some things that we can do to better prepare for storms before they hit and after they hit? And I don't confess to being a, professional at telling you any of this stuff, but if you have ideas, tips that can help anyone, please put them in the comment section, because people do read the comments and it can help a lot of people. I've gotten great tips myself from reading the comments when I do stories like this. So if you're one of those folks who wait to the last minute, no shade to you, because it happens, because financially, who can afford right now to stock up? We need to, definitely, because that is an insurance policy, but it doesn't mean it's going to be there for you, especially if the storm happens to hit your area and you face flooding or you face winds to the point that, your things are destroyed. But it's better to have and not need than to need and not have, right? So some things that you can do is to make sure you have a plan of evacuation. Even though they do have the state of emergency that is happening, it may come to a point where there is severe flooding and you get that notice, hey, your county needs to evacuate, your area needs to evacuate. Do you know your evacuation routes if you live in the coastal area or anywhere, period? Do you know, does your family know? If we're not together, this is going to be our meetup place, which is a different area outside of what your evacuation area is. So coming up with that plan, talking about that plan with your family together and figuring out what best works for you. I can't personally tell you, only you know that, and only your family can, chime in and help you figure that out. So once you have your plan together, you know that you need to have shelf-stable food. Well, what does that mean, having shelf-stable food? That means having food on your shelf that you do not have to cook in case there is a power outage or in case there are boil water advisories. So having shelf-stable food, ready-to-eat meals, even if you make your own, because a lot of people do. I have canned food on my shelf that if I needed to use them, I definitely can use them. Also having a way to cook that food if you don't have power, whether you have electric or you have gas. You may want to save some of your gas for something else, your propane for something else, and use a little top stove outside. So those are things to think about as well. Having shelf-stable food, definitely having water and enough of it for every individual adult in your home, and of course your pets. Okay, a tip that I do when it comes to storing water, I make sure that I don't store my water on the ground in my garage. I do store water there, but it is on shelves. But if I didn't have shelves, I would get a pallet, just like they do at the grocery stores, and I would use that pallet to store my water, because the last thing I want to do is store water on concrete and have that leach into my water, and now my water is absolutely no good.
Right now, I am at the hospital. This is what's in the back of my car. This is my solar power station here. It runs by itself. It runs off of solar panels. You can use your 12 volt to charge it as you're driving. You see it's at 100%. This will last me X amount of hours. I mean, a long time. It has flashing lights, emergency lights on it, and also can use it as a lantern. So, also, I have behind that is a bag where I have some food. It's already pre-made, but I can warm it up if I want to using my stove here. That's what I was talking about, saving your propane for something else and using something like that. And then I also have my fan that has a USB cord that can be plugged into the car or into your solar power station. Also having lighting safe lighting, not candles or anything like that, I have this lantern right here. This lantern has the hanging hooks, or you can hold it, in your hand. And you just open it up, and it has a lot of lumens. You can see very well with it. I used it when I slept overnight in my car, and I have this in my car now, because I was going to sleep in my car at the hospital, but I decided to sleep inside of my dad's room.
Having a way to filter your water is also going to be important. They have tablets out there that you can put in your water to filter your water. You also can use bleach, regular bleach, not the, the one that has the chemicals in it to keep it from splashing. Okay, so you just need regular bleach, and you need to know your amounts in order to do it, and definitely be safe with doing that. But there are tablets out there, and if you can afford a Berkey, go out and get a Berkey. They have travel Berkeys that are way cheaper than those bigger ones. I think they're around $2 something. So you can get a travel Berkey, you can get life straws. Any of those things will help filter your water, so that way you have access to clean, fresh drinking water. Because when the power goes down, so does the water treatment facilities.
Wastewater is any water that comes down drains inside of buildings. So that could be showers, sinks, washing machines, dishwashers. It could be things coming from a factory too, or inside schools or office buildings. One thing with wastewater is that it's full of things other than water, right? It's full of organics, things like poop and pee and toilet paper. It's full of things like dangerous chemicals, like cleaning products, and personal products like medicine and makeup. It also has bacteria in it. Bacteria naturally occur in our body, things like E. coli, but could also be because we're sick. So things like dangerous germs could also be in wastewater.
Your water's no longer being treated. So that's typically why they say don't drink the water. And also the fact that there is flooding. And when there is flooding, you have the manholes. You know what's down there. Come on now. You do not want to drink that water and get sick. So then you need to be thinking about your shelter too, meaning where you are at that moment when the storm hits. Have you secured everything around your home where it is not going to blow and, come into your home? Because if you don't tie down your furniture or bring your furniture in, it could destroy your home. Now, we also need to think about, I also wouldn't park my car under a tree if I could avoid it. But do you have your power situated? And when I say power, I mean when your power goes out or starts doing the flickering on and off, and you're thinking, oh, it'll be back on in a couple of hours, everything will be fine. What if it doesn't come back on? Do you have a way to save your food, or are you going to be the one that has to either call family over and, hey, we're going to have a big old meal because I don't want this food to go to waste, or you're just cooking up that food yourself because you don't have backup power to keep your food refrigerated at the temps it needs to be for safety reasons? So do you have a generator that runs on propane or gas, or the dual one is probably better, because typically you're going to run out of one or the other. So do you have your generator? Do you have a solar generator as a backup generator? And it could be your main generator if it's big enough, and your solar panels, you can always recharge it that way. So I have I have multiple solar generators. I've been blessed to have sponsorships where I have these generators. I didn't pay for them. They will be linked in my description, though, if you want to go and check them out. That's something good to have if you can afford to get that. Some generators you can use on your RV. So if you can use it on your RV, if you get that adapter piece, you can use it on your house too. You just got to figure out how to do it. So those are things that you can add to it. And when you're thinking about the shelf-stable food, and you have canned goods that aren't pop tops, that you have to have a can opener, try to have multiple can openers, because those things aren't made like they used to be made, and they break easily. So you want to have more than one. Okay. So y'all leave your tips and ideas down below. I have to get back into the hospital. I'm still at the hospital. I spent the night here, and I need to get back up there. But I wanted to do this story when I saw what was happening, and the weather here is very gloomy, and it's supposed to be 90% rain today, 60% rain tomorrow here, and up and down the coast. So this is a wide-reaching storm. Okay, so y'all stay safe. Keep your head on a please keep your head on a swivel, and remember, I love you, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you. Be the very best you that you could be. And when you are, go out and spread God's love. Why? Because God is love, and that's what he would want us to do. Love like Jesus. Okay? I'm having to do that with family members because sometimes your peace be getting taken, and ain't nobody stealing my peace. Okay? I'm claiming it. I'm reclaiming it. Okay? And let me stop before I get in a whole tangent. Y'all have a blessed day. Have a very, very, very blessed day. And if you're out and about running errands, and if you're out there trying to get your supplies together because you did wait till the last minute, please keep a cool head, okay? Cool heads prevail. Bye, y'all.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Oh, yeah. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow.